Going inland in Georgia, we find ourselves in the town of Waycross as the night begins. The mall at Waycross prepares for the holiday season as staff set up a space for kids to meet Santa, as well as covering up the fountain for a Christmas tree. Let's get a look at this vintage surprise. Georgia's small malls are shrouded in mystery, and I unfortunately hit the equivalent of a wall trying to research this place. While much of the mall's history is left to speculation and local knowledge, I did learn about the mall's beginnings at least. Al Hatcher, in addition to being a low-level public figure for the state, would also be the primary developer for the mall at Waycross. At the time, it would have been known as the Hatcher Point Mall, as construction was underway in 1973. Original anchors were anticipated to be a Piggly Wiggly and a Woolco. Odd choice for that first one. As I've said before, much of the mall's history is shrouded in mystery. However, the mall did well enough to attract a JCPenney and Belk to the scene, and even attracted a Sears in a hidden mall corridor on the north end of Belk. There's no telling what that corridor looks like, as it's been closed off since Sears' departure, possibly even earlier than that. JCPenney would have departed the mall in 2020 during a company-wide bankruptcy, which the brand did survive at least. Meanwhile, Sears, surprise surprise, would have closed, but what is a surprise is that it was much earlier than expected, around 2011 in the notes I could find. According to the mall website, the mall at Waycross is currently owned by RCG Ventures, and the mall is in a precarious state. Only Belk remains as a primary anchor, but TJ Maxx does remain intact as a secondary anchor. Meanwhile, Sears has been subletted to make way for Planet Fitness. However, the show must go on as staff continue to tend to the mall, ensuring cleanliness as well as a good presentation despite the dated interior. And while the fountain gets covered up seasonally, it is rumored to still be in routine operation. I normally wait until the end to say this, but if you grew up in the Waycross region and grew up going to this mall, feel free to share your insight down below. I would love to gather a more coherent timeline for this place. Now, it is amusing to see a mall with its original interior still preserved to such a degree, especially considering this is Hull Property Group territory, of whom already had their way with the sister mall to Waycross, the former Hatcher Square Mall in Milledgeville. But here, you get to see the old world shine through, and while the inline tenants are few and far between, unfortunately, what did strike me about this mall in particular was how clean it is. I hope whoever is cleaning those floors is being paid well. I wanted to have a look at why this mall might be struggling the way it is, and from what I could research, the only thing jumping out at me is economic depression. And even then, it's not obvious on the surface when you see even Waycross's downtown area is doing okay. Even crime is, for the most part, in decent shape, with only property crime and theft being a real issue. Perhaps people are just more willing to drive the extra hour to Valdosta or Tifton if they want to go shopping. What I do know is that this mall will have to reinvent itself if it wants to survive. And I worry those plans for reinvention might not include an enclosed mall, should those plans emerge. Thanks for having me, Waycross, Georgia. And until next time, this is Doomie Grunt wishing you and the mall at Waycross farewell and good luck in this mad, mad, mad world.
Mm-hmm.